What it do, comic babies? I'm Bunkmaster B, and today I'm sick. My daughter just started up at kindergarten last week, and anyone who's got school-age kids school that go to any type of in-person school around other kids probably knows that time of year means lots of germs, bringing them home for everyone. And that was what our household was this week. My daughter had her bout basically last weekend, got everybody else in the house sick, and then I'm the final bout. So dealing with that right now. So because of that, I don't have the mental fortitude right now to take on, a big thinking story. I'm not looking for anything that's going to really challenge me. It's going to make me change the way I think about the human condition or anything else like that. I just want to curl up with a comic book that is going to entertain me, that, hopefully I'm going to smile with. So, here are 5 comic books that I can just sip my tea and turn my brain off while I feel a little better. Alright, so I don't have much of a voice right now, so we're going to do this pretty quickly, or at least as quickly as I can do anything, which is to say, not very quick. But these are the 5 books that when I'm not feeling great and I want to turn my brain off and just enjoy something, these are what I'm grabbing. We're starting off here with one of my all-time favorites, Nextwave, Agents of Hate. I've talked about this one before, by Warren Ellis, Stuart Immonen. This might be my favorite Stuart Immonen art that he's done. It is one of just the most absolutely insane stories that Warren Ellis has done, and that's saying something. Ridiculous, just over-the-top, super heroic antics. If we go back to the beginning, I think I've talked about this particular arc before, but Fin Fang Foom, Marvel's version of Godzilla, going around in purple underpants, is just rampaging, puts one of the superheroes in his pants. Fin Fang Foom's heart gets broken. The letters page was hilarious. The Celestials show up as just like quick jokes. There's a lot of appearances of major Marvel characters that show up as a joke. We get these clay demons snapping, doing West Side Story dancing after they've been summoned to the astral, from the plane. My love affair with Elsa Bloodstone started here. So cool. Makes fun of Mark Miller's thing about, do you think the A on my forehead stands for France? For Bushman, brings back the not Brand Ek characters. Again, just a silly, ridiculous ride. As far as whether it's in continuity or not, I don't think it really matters, but it's just the most ridiculous thing you get. There's an entire section where they just do multiple double-page spreads in a row. So good. This book is silly. This book is ridiculous. This is definitely something that helps me feel better. Who Killed Jimmy Olsen? Another great one. This is by the amazing team of Matt Fraction, Steve Lieber, and Nathan Fairbairn. I've talked about before how I read this one in line waiting to vote in the 2020 election, which was a super politicized time. Everyone was on edge. It was a real bad time. I was in line for an hour, and I just spent the whole time just laughing and giggling to myself because I got to read this. It's excellent. It takes a lot of sort of the silly stories that Jimmy Olsen used to get into back in the 60s and modernizes them here. Early on, Jimmy Olsen has a dummy, and somebody shoots it when he goes out, so he knows that someone's trying to kill Jimmy Olsen, and so he goes undercover to discover who's trying to kill him. You find out that there's a family history with Lex Luthor. This right here, he reinvents himself as, I think this is Timmy Olsen, where he's a prank YouTuber going through the DC universe. And so right here, he fills Dr. Fate's helmets with bees and just, you got all snapped. Oh, so good. And all the while he's just so completely sad. He's getting to the main page of the Daily Planet. Oh, it's amazing. And Lois Lane is just so disapproving. He hates it so much, but he just has to do this kind of keep undercover. And honestly, at the end of it, it actually ends up telling a pretty sweet story. But just the whole time, it's just these really quick vignettes that are funny. The Lieber art is just so clean. The Fairbairn colors just, pop. There's not a whole lot of extras that you need there. You can see it really kind of keeps focus on what's actually happening there. He gets in a prank war with Batman where he steals one of the Batmobile, lost a wheel. Oh, so good. Next up, another one of my loves. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with my boys, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, written by, for my money, my favorite writer on the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comic, Ryan Parrott, along with one of my absolute favorite artists in comics, Simone DeMeo. He, you may remember Simone DeMeo from, the heck was that? We Only Find Them When We're Dead. Just really over the top, big action sequences. I mean, it's a it's an excuse just to basically play with your favorite 80s toys and mash them up together. You get your classic superhero tropes of, they meet up, they think each other, the other side's the bad guys, they end up getting in a fight, like everybody always wanted. If the Turtles and the Power Rangers got in a fight, kind of like what happened on that episode in Power Rangers in Space, which for my money is actually a pretty good crossover. The Turtles feel like the Turtles, Power Rangers feel like the Power Rangers. It's a lot of fun. You get matchups of Shredder versus Rita. Just super cool, really fun. And again, it's Ryan Parrott going at it, so there's going to be some heart. The second volume of this just wrapped up. I don't believe it's in trade yet. It's got Dan Moore art, so I probably have to say it's better. But this volume right here is excellent, so good. Highly suggest. Right here, Giant Days. Not on the test edition. This one's by John Allison. The first I can't remember how many, are done by the artist who ends up sticking around for all of the covers. I can't remember that person's name. I'm sorry, it'll pop up on the screen here. Boop. And then later on, it goes there. Oh, never mind. It won't. Lisa Tremaine, I think actually she did some work for Disney, and then Max Sarin takes over for a lot of the rest of the series, but Lisa ends up staying on for the cover artist all through this. But it's just stories about these three girls in college, and it's slice of life. It's reliving college days with your friends, and that's fun. And college was great. College was super fun. Whole lot less responsibilities, and it's just nice to kind of revisit that time, as an adult, with everything that's going on in life and everything you got to do, and just like back to simpler times. Back when COVID was happening, this was one of the ones that I would reach to, and it was like it felt like the world was ending, and the world as we knew it was never coming back. And just like reading this kind of reminded me, it was like, remember those great times you were in college? Yeah, those were great times. They're gonna come back. This is there's also an issue where everybody gets sick because everybody goes back to school. So very appropriate. See them all how they're sick? Yeah, feels very similar, especially because this all happened because my daughter went back to school. Last one, 4 kids walk into a bank. Torrid tale of child crime. This is by the fantastic team of Tyler Boss and Matthew Rosenberg and Maurer. Who's Maurer? Thomas Maurer. I'm sorry, Thomas Maurer. I only gave credit to Tyler Boss and Matthew Rosenberg. Sweet. Thomas Maurer was on this too. Thomas Maurer. Oh, he did the lettering. That makes sense. So, this particular book, it's basically, Kicks, when BJ Kicks, when he read it, he talked about it reminding him a lot of the old One Saturday Morning cartoon Recess. Very much feels like that, but with them trying to rob a bank. So basically, the main character, the girl who might as well just be Spinelli, she's hanging out with her friends. Her dad is getting in some trouble. He's not exactly on the up and up. And so, he's out some money. She tells them to leave them alone. And they say, well, and then you need to come up with the money for him. And she decides that they're going to rob a bank. As kids. It goes about as well as you would expect. But it's really funny. It's filled with heart. They do a lot of sort of this mashup where, I've been accused of being, a sucker for the 3x3 panel layout. Well, check this out. This is, has a little more than 3x3, but then one of the things that I love with this is you get all of this where it's this back and forth, just this snappy dialogue where it just goes back and forth, they're calling each other names, and then on the very next page, suddenly we snap out of that, and we get to see her tackling, we're bringing that motion back in, we see them, pulling her back, coming right out of just this sort of back and forth talking head dialogue part, which I think just really works for kind of that flow, kind of does some very cool things there. But again, at the end, it's just this, fun story that's only a little heartbreaking about 4 kids who have no idea what they're doing, trying to rob a bank. It's as fun as it sounds. They go into the bank earlier to try and, do a walkthrough and find out everything. And, the people who are working there are just like, oh, what cute little kids. Of course we'll show you around. And, they're like, haha, we've made it in undetected. And all the while they're like, you're kids. But anyway, this book is great. It's a fun cartoon crime story, if such a thing exists. Love this book. It's enough to warm my cold, dead, phlegmy insides. So, those are my books. And that's it. Those are my 5 comic books that I reach for when I'm not feeling great and I'm looking for something just to entertain me. So what about you guys? Hopefully, everyone out there is staying healthy, staying strong, and isn't in the same kind of situation. So I'm hoping that you don't need a list like this. But if you do, or when you do, what do you reach for? What's your, I don't want to think, I just want to have fun comic? Let me know down below. In the meantime, I've been Bunkmaster B. You all have been amazing. I got some more tea to sip. I'll catch you next time.